Iana is one of the most played attackers as of right now in Siege. There are so many ways to use her Gemini Replicator, so today I'll show you how to actually play Iana. We'll start with her loadout, and there's two different options for her main gun, the ARX and the G36C. Both of these are very viable options, but my personal favorite is the ARX, due to every bullet doing 47 damage. The few downsides though is that it only has 20 bullets in its mag capacity, and the maximum scope size is a 1.0. The G36C, however, does have a 1.5. The only pistol you can pick for Iana is the MK1 9mm handgun, and for secondary gadgets, you can pick between frag grenades and smoke grenades. Iana is one of the 4 attackers at the moment that has frag grenades, which is another reason why she's so strong right now. Now on to her Gemini Replicator. This is her main gadget, which is basically a replication of Iana, which you can use to gather information. You can use the replicator for 15 seconds maximum, but you can choose to deactivate the hologram by pressing your middle mouse button or whatever button you have assigned to your main gadget at any time. And after using it for anywhere up to 15 seconds, the recharge time is 8 seconds. The HP of the replicator is 1 HP, which means an enemy can shoot it easily with just 1 bullet. If the hologram gets destroyed, the recharge time is 30 seconds. It's important to make sure your replicator stays alive. It has infinite recharge capabilities, meaning that you can use it as an infinite drone to keep on gathering information. The nice difference between Iana and Alibi is that with Iana, the outfits actually transfer onto the hologram, which isn't the case for Alibi. So with that Iana Elite, it's basically the wet dream of every Siege player. Wait, hold up. You're still watching? That's a little sus. There are a few limitations to the replicator. While using the replicator, you can still do the usual movements. You can walk, sprint, crouch, go prone, lean, vault, and aim down sight. But you can't shoot, melee, use your secondary gadget, rappel, or climb a ladder. You also can't plant a diffuser or act as if you're planting the diffuser. That means you can't destroy a barricade, for example. You can't destroy gadgets, and you can't do damage to enemies. Keep in mind that when you're on the replicator, you're very vulnerable. You can't move your character, and you can't shoot. It also takes a little bit of time to get out of a replicator and pick your gun back up. So when you're using the Gemini Replicator, make sure you're standing in a safe position. Information gathering is a great way of using the replicator, but there is so much more you can do with it. The best way to bait an enemy is to fake out the Iana Replicator. This means you're gonna get on the replicator but cancel the animation out. So when you're walking in, enemies might think it's the Iana Replicator, so they might just shoot once, but you're actually able to shoot back at them. So how to do this? You trigger the animation, but the important part is that the animation has 2 different sound cues. You're gonna have to wait until the yellow triangles appear on the screen before you cancel the animation. You can cancel the animation by clicking your designated main gadget button. The yellow triangles part of the animation has a slight sound cue as well. If you stop it too early, before the yellow triangles appear, a good Siege player will be able to tell the difference in game. There is another way you can bait enemies and bait their utility. You can, for example, trick the enemy into thinking you are walking over a certain area or that you've dropped a hatch. If you do this on default spots, such as for example the new hatch on Cafe, there is often a pre-placed C4 underneath it. Shaiko demonstrated this very well during a Yunchiping Major, where he walked through bar in Cafe over a pre-placed C4. The enemy on the camera gave the call to detonate the C4, and in that way they baited the enemies to use a C4 to trade for a replicator. That's a very good deal if you ask me. If you're playing with someone else, you can have them refrag your Iana Replicator. You can act as if it's an actual player when you have your teammate walking close to the replicator to refrag it when the enemy shoots down the replicator. You know something else you can do? You can subscribe to this channel for more educational Siege content, because you've gotten quite far in the video, so you must be liking the content. We're on our way to 15,000 YouTube subs, and all your support is much appreciated. Obviously, there's also ways to counter Iana. Here are the best ways to counter her. We mentioned how the replicator has only 1 HP, so it can be very easy ability to destroy it with just one bullet, but obviously also with things such as explosions or electrified surfaces. Think about a K claw on a wall, or even a bandit battery in a barbed wire, or other things that do damage, such as Maestro's Evil Eye. Also with the Evil Eye, you can see the difference between the actual Iana and the Replicator, because the holo doesn't generate heat, so it will look different on the camera. The radius of a mood jammer will also destroy the Gemini Replicator. Also with barricades or castle barricades, you can block the Replicator from walking around the map. And did you know that while using the Replicator, you cannot see a Vigil if he's using his gadget? You will see the same lines as you see when you would be droning. This way Vigil is a really good counter for Iana because you can hide from her very well. Iana's Replicator will not trigger a Legion goo mine, and neither will it trigger Capcom traps. Echo has an interesting interaction with Iana. You can't stun or destroy the hologram, but once you stun the actual Iana, you will stun her off the Replicator. You can also see if it's the real Iana because the hologram won't budge at all when you stun her. Obviously with Solus you can see Iana's hologram, and you can see the difference between her and the actual Iana. The real Iana will have the phone icon. All these kids with their phones and their advanced technological stuff these days. Iana's Replicator is immune to fire. She can just stand in an exploded Goyo canister, it won't do anything to the hologram. With a bulletproof cam, you can EMP stun to disable the hologram. On a regular camera, you won't see the difference between the real and the fake Iana. You can, however, Z-ping or yellow ping the Iana once you see her, because the real Iana will just be a ping marker, but the hologram will have the Iana icon. That's a good way of seeing the difference between the real and the fake Iana. And those are all the tips I have for Iana. With this guide, you have all the knowledge to master Iana in your ranked games and perfectly bait the enemy. If you like this content, consider subscribing to the channel. I post more educational Siege content and funny moments from my Twitch streams. We're on our way to 15,000 YouTube subs, and all your support is much appreciated. Leave a comment down below with your favorite thing to do as Iana. We can always help each other out. In the meantime, maybe you like this nut guide or these 15 easy Siege tips. Thank you so much for watching, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.